Hi, Audrey Christy McLaughlin with audreychristy.com, here to talk about holistic migraine support and prevention. And I had this really amazing presentation put together for y'all, but the software that allows me to show or screen share that is not working, hence why I'm doing this 2 hours later than I told my newsletter peeps. Cool thing, this replay will be live on the page for a long time. If you want to get a PDF of the tips and support methods that I'm talking about today, after the video I'll come back and put a link for a PDF and then a copy of this video if you choose to do that. I am Audrey Christy, again with audreychristy.com. I am a registered nurse, certified clinical master of aromatherapy, and I have a host of alternative healing training and certifications a mile long, so I'm not going to go through those with you. A little bit of housekeeping: if you want to subscribe to my live videos, then please do so. Share it out into your newsfeed if you know people who are looking for migraine support and prevention help. And if you have a question, put them in the comments. And even if you're watching on the replay, you can pop in and say hi. You can ask a question and I'll come back and answer it. Also, feel free to give the little hearts, and I don't know how to tell you to do that, but please do so, because Facebook recently changed it. Okay, you'll probably see me glancing at my notes from time to time, and that's cool, so don't think I'm doing anything weird. Again, make sure you show some love and share it out into your newsfeed. We're going to talk about how to support and prevent migraines. Okay, so migraines suck, right? I know a lot of people that give up days of their lives. They miss family events, they miss important things at work to lay in a cold, dark room, and a quiet room, key is quiet also, and try to medicate a migraine away. And then there are other people who take medications day in and day out to prevent migraines. And by the way, boring disclaimer, I'm not a doctor and I don't play one on TV. And despite all of my alternative healing training and techniques, you are ultimately responsible for your health. And so by continuing to watch this, you understand that disclaimer. Okay, back to the fun stuff. So migraines suck. People miss lots and lots of time with family and friends and work and all sorts of important stuff because they are stuck in bed with a migraine. So let's look at some causes, and there's two different things. There's causes and there's triggers, and there's actually two levels of causes. There's the energetic causes and there's physical causes, and then some of those causes are triggers, but not all triggers are causes. Make sense? Probably not. It would have been way better with the presentation, with the slide share presentation as well. So let's talk about causes energetically. And if you followed me for long, you know that I really believe that most physical or all physical dis-ease in the body is the result of an energetic issue. So it starts as an energetic issue and then it manifests itself in the physical body as a disease or an issue like migraines. So it's kind of that your energetic, your subtle energetic body whispers to you, right? And then it might shove you a little bit. And then that brick wall slamming down is you're in bed with a migraine. So physically, migraine causes can be food and drink issues, can be vitamin deficiencies. So, and a lot of times those two are linked together. It can be hormone over or under production of hormones, also can be linked to food and vitamin deficiencies. And then stress. So unresolved stress, unresolved emotional stress, unreleased stress, off gases as a headache. And if it's really, really severe, it'll off gas as a migraine. So let's talk about the food and drink issues. It can be caused by eating wheat, dairy, sugar, artificial preservatives, MSG, processed meats, caffeine, etc. Vitamin deficiencies, usually that's going to be a magnesium deficiency or a vitamin B deficiency. And then hormone production, over or under production of hormones can be a migraine cause as well. Now let's talk about migraine triggers. So like I said, all causes are triggers, but not all triggers are causes. And that would have been easier had the slide presentation worked. But let's talk about migraine triggers. Again, those can be food and drink issues. They could be allergies or food sensitivities to chemicals and additives in the food. It can be to wheat, dairy, artificial preservatives, processed meat. It can be caused by dehydration. A lot of people are under the false presumption, false knowledge that drinking anything gets you hydrated. Water's about the only thing that hydrates you, maybe some coconut water thrown in there. Otherwise, it's a false hydration. So you can have migraines that are triggered by dehydration. You can also have migraines triggered by sleep deprivation, and that could be missing sleep. It could be oversleeping, so you can actually have too much sleep. It could be interrupted sleep, so maybe you get your solid 8, but you're up every 2 or 3 hours for whatever reason. And then it can be also triggered by changes in your sleep cycle. So if you are a shift worker and maybe you flip-flop from nights to days, that can be a trigger as well. Stress, as I mentioned, as a cause, can also be a trigger. So unreleased emotional stress builds up and actually off-gasses or is released physically through the physical body via a migraine headache. You can also have physical overexertion, especially if you're not, well, it's physical overexertion whether or not you're fit or not. But anytime you've kind of crossed that point, think of it similar as a heat stroke. You can stand the summer heat, but the overexertion or the overheating causes the stroke. So the overexertion of the physical body causes the migraine headache. And then again, hormones, overproduction or underproduction of hormones can be a trigger. Loud external noises, bright fluorescent lights, also big triggers for people. And here's the thing, a lot of these are interconnected. So when you fix the food triggers, oftentimes that fixes the sleep triggers, which fixes the hormone triggers. Allergy triggers are wrapped up in the food sensitivity and then the dehydration issues as well. So you can really fix about 90% of the triggers for migraine headaches with just a few simple adjustments. So let's talk about prevention, right? Because we don't ever want to have a migraine because they suck. They just freaking suck. So think about this. Food is fuel, and you wouldn't put bad gas in your car, so why would you put bad food in your body? And that's not to say that you can never, have a cheeseburger or a piece of cake, not at all. But you want to, the majority of the time, and certainly for the first 30 days when you're trying to adjust your body to avoid migraine headaches or prevent them, you want to avoid processed foods. You want to eat whole meats. You want to eat whole fruits and vegetables. And you really want to avoid soy, gluten, MSG, artificial sweeteners, and all of those things. So what does that look like? A lot of people see that, and you want to try to do grass-fed meats, of course, and organic fruits and vegetables, but don't let that stop you. Don't let your lack of access to organic fruits and vegetables or quality meats be the deterrent. So do the best you can with what you have. Everyone has access to beef and chicken and produce sections at a grocery store. No matter what area of the country or world you're in, well, not world, but country at least for sure. So make sure that you're eating those type foods, and it's gonna take a solid 30 days. So you're really gonna have to commit for 30 days to avoiding processed foods, avoiding the gluten, dairy, soy, MSG, and artificial sweeteners to notice a difference. After that 30 days, you can play with adding some foods back and see if something triggers a migraine for you. Supplements. So a lot of people take multivitamins every single day and they're like, oh, I'm doing so good, I'm taking multivitamins. You're really just making really expensive urine, for lack of a better word. You really want to focus on the supplements that your body needs, and almost everybody, whether you're preventing migraines or not, need omega-3s and vitamin Ds. And not just the supplemental type of vitamin Ds. Omega-3s you can buy, just make sure you get a quality fish-based omega-3, not a plant-based omega-3. And then for vitamin D, you can actually buy the supplement and then get in the sun for 20 minutes a day without sunscreen. And that will give your body enough vitamin D. You may need some supplements if you're really, really deficient, and your doctor can totally do a blood test for that and give you those results. And then the big one for migraine prevention is magnesium. So most of my clients that come to me with migraine troubles, they return their magnesium levels to a normal level and they never have trouble with migraines again. So there's two ways you can take magnesium. You can use a spray or you can take tabs. I like to use a combination of both. I use magnesium to help me sleep better at night. So I take magnesium orally, as well as I have a spray that I use when I get out of the shower. Another big one for migraine sufferers is B12. So you want to get a really good B complex vitamin, and that's going to be not an oral vitamin, that's going to be a sublingual, so you're going to drop it under your tongue. Generally you can find those at most pharmacies. And then CoQ10. A lot of people who suffer from migraines have other medical issues, other deficiencies in their body, and sometimes the medications that they take, especially if you are on any sort of heart medication or blood pressure medication, can leave you deficient not only in that magnesium but in CoQ10. So I would take all of those daily and throw the multivitamin away because it's kind of a waste of money. Okay, and so then there's I talked a little bit about physical ailments have an energetic beginning. So you don't just pop up with a migraine headache. There's been something festering there for a long time, and even Western medical physicians and studies show stress as a cause of migraines. So how can you relieve some of that? Well, energetically speaking, people will say that migraines are related to a blockage in the third eye. And if you know anything about the chakra system, or even if you don't, the third eye is in between the eyebrows and 1 centimeter up. And so it's a nerve plexus that energetic and spiritual teachers say is basically an energetic ball, right? And so when that's blocked, you're not getting the information that you need from your intuition. So the way that might look is you are in a situation and you had this gut feeling about something and you go, gosh, I knew it was going to happen that way, when it turns out a certain way. But you knew it before, you just didn't listen. So those are when your intuition gives you those hints and you don't acknowledge, you cram them down, that causes a blockage in your third eye, which can lead to migraines and headaches. So the solution for that is to listen and acknowledge your intuitive hits, and everybody has them, is to meditate daily. And even if it's just 1 or 2 minutes a day, maybe it doesn't look like meditation for you, maybe it looks like prayer. So you can swap either one of those around, but that lowers stress levels and improves energy flow in your body. And if you're stuck on what to meditate on or how to do it, you can simply recite the mantra, I am open, I am peaceful. And that works really, really well. Okay, so migraine relief. Cool, holistic things to do migraine relief. Magnesium works really, really well. So even if you've taken your supplement and even if you've used your spray and you have a migraine, use your spray or take an additional magnesium tablet. It works really well, it works fast, almost like taking a painkiller. Then there's also crystal therapy, and there have been, alternative metaphysical studies where amethyst, regular or black, and I'll show you, this is what regular amethyst looks like. Pardon my terrible fingernail polish. And this is what black amethyst looks like. So black amethyst is not translucent, like clear, but both of those are really, really helpful for migraines. You can also use essential oils. So you would use lavender and yang yang, and you would absolutely not ever, ever, ever use peppermint for migraines. Peppermint is great for tension headaches when you want to rub it on your temples, but it's a trigger for migraines and it'll often make them worse. I do have one client that can use peppermint on her toes during a migraine and it helps, but in general, stay away from it during migraines. Another good one is peace and calming, which I don't have any because we use it a lot around here. So again, if you have any questions, please post them in the comments below. If you're watching this on the replay, post your comments and I will come back and answer them. And when I get this wrapped up, I will come back with a PDF link so that you can have a printout of all the suggestions and information, and even a little bit more detailed information on how you can support and prevent migraines. Thanks for joining me.